Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Law and Order Legacies. So it's a new day for me, so I pretty much barely remember the story we're working on. And on top of that, my Windows 10 wants to install an update, so now I'm under the wire to finish this entire game before the night time approaches, I suppose would be the right way to say that. Let's go.
Furious at New Amsterdam? Of course I was
doing
furious.
the Vanderhook.
My son was savagely beaten in their halls.
Kid
His face had to be
who'd
sewn
been
back
shot.
together.
And yet you made a huge bequest just 3 weeks later. It doesn't square up. Why the change of heart?
Tag convinced me to do it. Despite what had happened, he was devoted to the school. He told me it was the one place in all the world where he felt truly accepted.
So he wanted to stay at the school and they wouldn't let him back without the bribe of a new gym. That way he could be near his own child. So, we shouldn't believe her. Do we have a reason not to believe her? Headmistress said Tag never fitted in. Vanderhook said Tag in New Amsterdam with oil and water. Else and Tag wanted to transfer elsewhere. I think the headmistress is the right answer. Nope. What kind of fail already,
You told
aren't we?
the police that Tag and New Amsterdam were like oil and water.
Did I? How odd.
It's time you told us the truth, Mrs. Vanderhook.
So this is the lawyer
You're good.
investigation.
I like you. Yes, if you must know.
Why
the
would a
bequest
lawyer
was
be
extorted
questioning
from me.
people?
My reputation is the basis of my fortune, Miss Carmichael. Unfortunately, that makes me uniquely vulnerable to scandal. Somebody saw an opening and seized it. I would have been more forthcoming if I thought this had anything to do with my son's murder.
But Tag did figure in this scheme, didn't he? We've seen the video.
You have? That's not exactly the sort of thing that makes a mother proud. But then making mother proud was never very high on Tag's to-do list.
Who blackmailed you?
What we want to know is, who else knew about it? Who was extorting you?
But surely you've already guessed. Our beloved headmistress, Karen Boersma. Though how she got a hold of the video, I'll never know.
Who did Boersma obtain the tape from? Interesting. Harrison. Or Tag. Let's say Harrison, probably. This is an odd split. We haven't seen this before. Either. Game is going crazy. She called Harrison into her office after the fight. That's probably the truth of it.
She hauled Harrison into her office right after the fight. She must have forced it out of him then. It would explain why she didn't expel him.
However she got it, she understood immediately what it could do to my reputation. The son of Trisha Vanderhook? Forcing himself on some inebriated little tramp? On camera yet? The press would fight to get their claws on the footage. The price was steep, but it wasn't too much to pay for a guarantee that the video wouldn't get out. So I paid up, and that was the end of it.
New topics. What did Tag know? Good question.
Did Tag know you were being blackmailed on account of him?
No. As far as he knew, there were only 2 people in the world who knew about his little excursion into filmmaking, and one of them was dead.
That's not true, because he showed the video to... Oh yeah, he said everyone else had seen it.
Tag bragged to Franklin Bedford that the video was a box office hit.
Did he? How tacky.
He knew somebody was making money off it.
Yes, I suppose I did let the secret slip out.
What was your reaction to Tag's crime?
It must have been a nasty shock seeing Tag's video.
What sort of reaction are you attempting to provoke here, counselor? Outrage? Tears? Bitter recriminations against my dead child? Sorry to disappoint you. My feelings are my own business.
Guess that's a red herring?
Mrs. Boersma guaranteed that the video wouldn't get out? How could you be confident she wouldn't turn around and extort more money out of you next year?
I made sure she couldn't do that. In exchange for my generous donation, she gave me an insurance packet.
Meaning?
A handwritten statement of what she'd done, signed and dated. If the video gets out, so does her confession. Mutually assured destruction. Always good for keeping hostile superpowers quiet.
Interesting.
Do you still have this statement?
Yes, and I intend to hold on to it. Unless you can prove this has something to do with Tag's murder.
When did you tell Tag about your arrangement with Mrs. Boersma?
April Fool's Day.
Is that consistent with the evidence? I guess so. So did the headmistress shoot? Wouldn't an adult bullet trajectory be much differently angled than a child shooting a gun? Just by the ballistics and where the hole was and where the hole went into the body of Tag and where the person would have had to been standing to make those two holes and fire a gun. Wouldn't we already know by this point that it was an adult? And yet the game hasn't told us that. Miss Boersma expelled Tag on April 2nd. Tag was arrested on that day. Nope, wrong again. So I've got to get
wrecked his Maserati again, and he was expecting, no, demanding I should get it fixed for him. For once I put my foot down. Well, he flew into a childish rage, called me a cheapskate, started screaming about how I never did anything for him. So I let him know exactly what his shenanigans had cost me. It shut him up.
See, her response to that doesn't even line up. She's basically having a completely different conversation because I clicked the wrong confirming information.
Tag made a comment about the video, that he was planning to get his share of the box office. Do you have any idea what he meant by that?
A few days before he died, Tag informed me that he no longer needed my money. He said he found another way to pay for the Maserati.
Did he say what that was?
I asked, but all he would say was, "A good example is the best sermon."
Have we encountered the saying before? Probably. Last time to screw up, so we'll just say, well, maybe we could go really far back and see if this has been said before, but I imagine it's been said in the previous episode. So what was he gonna do? Try to blackmail the other group? Harrison's parents? Like, the only thing I could imagine a good example is the best sermon was said by Briscoe. Briscoe, it's been my motto as headmistress. Oh. She said it in Latin, I think. So it's the headmistress that said it. Got lucky. It's the framed quote in headmistress offices. Headmistress said it was Franklin's personal motto. Got lucky.
Extortion seems to be going around this season.
Some of the transcript still has not enough information to get it right. I can still screw up.
I think we found your son's murderer.
Franklin Bedford
Was framed.
Is that true? It seems like it. By Miss Boersma.
By Mrs. Boersma. She put that metal in his mouth, and she planted the gun in his locker.
But why? That little matter between her and me was resolved to our mutual satisfaction.
But not to Tag's satisfaction. He saw how his headmistress had profited off his video, and he figured turnabout was fair play. After all, you're not the only one who can be severely damaged by a scandal. Probably never realized how far she might go to avoid one.
Tag? Extort Karen Boersma? He might be reckless enough to try it, I'll grant you, but it would have been his word against hers. He had nothing to hold against her unless... Excuse me a minute, would you? The insurance policy is gone. Karen Boersma's signed confession. It's missing from the safe.
Did you make a copy of it?
No. He's the only one who could have taken it. But could he really be reckless enough to... Look who I'm talking about. Of course he could.
We can bring her to justice without it, if you'll agree
Audio
to testify.
glitches again?
No, absolutely not. As I've explained to you, I can't afford scandal.
But what about Tag?
If trashing my reputation could bring him back, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But it wouldn't. Tag's dead, but the Vanderhook name still lives. Its power is based on perception.
We have an issue here that happens in a lot of games. They're overly animating the characters. The scene you just saw, for example, a lot of crossing your arms, turning to the side, pointing, moving one arm up, moving one arm down, head shaking up and down. It's unnatural looking and pretty much a waste
Could I speak to Mrs. Boersma, please?
of
This is Franklin.
energy.
I feel kind of funny about this.
Let's see if they continue doing it.
And she framed you for murder. You want to see her get away with it.
No, wait. But I don't know what to say to her.
So far,
You
so
don't want to
good.
get her mad or scared, but you do want to let her know
There you
you're
go,
onto her
a
game,
point.
and you want a piece of the action.
And then
Play it
hand
exactly the way
movement.
Tag would have played it. We'll cue you along. You'll be fine.
Franklin, how nice of you to call. I was so relieved when they dropped the charges against you. Of course, I never stopped believing in your innocence.
Thanks.
I'm sorry that the board voted to drop you from the class roster. Purely a business decision, you understand. I assume that's why you're calling. You want me to reinstate you?
No, I want money. Let's see. Let's go with this one.
Say no. You want money.
Actually, what I need right now is money.
Well, I'm afraid I can't help you there. What's this about?
In order to lure the headmistress into confrontation, you need to convince her that you've got the goods on her, just like Tag did. I know how you got in the gym. I know about Tag's video. Let's see, which one do we start with?
Tell her you know about the video.
I know about the video. The one that Tag made.
I don't know what you're talking about. And I certainly don't know why it should concern me.
So, that was wrong?
Now, I'm quite busy, as you can imagine, so I'm afraid I must cut our little conversation short. Take care, Franklin.
Seriously?
I think we pushed it too hard.
Seriously, I have to restart? No, what's the point of even showing me an interface with 3 strikes when it's not true?
New Amsterdam Preparatory Academy.
Could I
Let's
speak to Miss-
skip this again.
No.
You don't want to... Well,
Franklin, I'm sorry.
So, money, I guess, is the truth.
say no.
I guess
You
there
want
was only
money.
one strike.
Actually,
Well, I'm...
Let's see. Let's go with this one.
Tell her you know where the new gym came from.
I know where the new gym came from.
Of course, everybody does. It was a very generous gift from Trisha Vanderhook.
Correct. So that was the correct thing? I've got your confession. I've got a photocopy of your confession.
You've got a copy of her confession.
Nah, that gym was no gift. I've got a copy of a paper here that says it was blackmail.
What do you want from me?
We gotta get her. I want to meet. Isn't that what you want to do, is make her meet? Or she won't confess, I don't think.
Tell her you want to meet.
Let's meet and, like, talk things over.
Where?
I don't like that things have gotten so difficult. That now you only have one strike. Let's go to Central Park Carousel, somewhere neutral.
Central Park Carousel.
Central Park, by the carousel.
Don't take this the wrong way, Franklin, but it wouldn't do for me to be seen in public with you.
Interesting. Well, let's go with the workout room.
The workout room. Midnight.
The workout room. Midnight tonight.
You do have a flair for the theatrical, don't you? All right. Merely out of curiosity, you understand. I'm not admitting to anything.
So she'll use the same code to get into the workout room, and that will be the piece of evidence that catches her, I imagine. So it was 0101. They don't show it because they can't bother to animate it.
What? What are you doing? How dare you?
You're under arrest for the murder of Tag Vanderhook.
You have no case against me.
Maybe not at the moment, but we will as soon as we pull the codes from this keypad lock. I'll lay you 7 to 1. The code you entered just now matches the one used on the day of the murder.
Listen, gentlemen, perhaps we can come to an arrangement. It isn't myself I'm thinking of. It's New Amsterdam Prep. A scandal would be very bad right now.
You should have thought of that before you launched your little extortion scheme.
I didn't set out to kill the boy, but he forced my hand. And anyway, he deserved it. He was a bully and a rapist and an extortionist to boot. Ending his vicious little life was a service to humanity.
Hopefully they're recording all of this.
We'll see if the jury buys it.
So are we going to even do a court
Judge in the
case?
Boersma trial just passed sentence. 20 to life.
Like the man said, a good example is the best
They
sermon.
skipped the entire court part.
Verdict is in on the paternity test, too. Turns out Harrison was the father.
Happy endings all around at the Bedford house.
So I'm glad I
don't know
didn't tell
about
her.
that. We still don't have a lead on Harrison's killer. I kept hoping some new evidence would turn up at this trial, but no luck.
Maybe Tag did it after all.
If he did, he could have left us some proof before getting himself killed. I'd hate to go to my grave not knowing.
There's a lot we'll never know. Don't let it spoil your sleep.
So the general idea here is that maybe Tag hired somebody to kill Harrison, and that is the Joggy Prepper murder. That's the idea. Again, let's just skip this because I don't care to see the credits of people who didn't make a very good game. And the game has gotten weirder now in this second to last episode, and not in a good way. Interesting. I don't recall it jumping back to the screen before, but whatever. No plea was offered. We did 100%, got 60 of 82. Good enough for me. Maybe we'll get really, really lucky in episode 7 and just like only take maybe 45 minutes to finish the entire story up. The preppy jogger stories, it's been this tiny through line, but most of these episodes were completely standalone, really, and it hasn't been that interesting of a case in itself because we didn't have any setup. The main problem here is I imagine people that like Law and Order already know the preppy jogger case and already knew the people involved and already cared about them, but for people just playing the game, it totally needed to be introduced in episode 1. Even if it was a shot-for-shot remake of an actual TV episode of Law and Order. We needed that introduction to tie us into a story, to make us interested, and it's just not there. Now the question will be, is it going to repeat and remind us some of the stuff that has happened in the previous episodes? Or were we really supposed to memorize everything that's gone on up to this point? If that's the case, I'm totally lost.
Hey man, someone just fell off the bridge.
What the hell?
The protesters grabbed him and threw him over.
Yeah, this is Fontana down at the protest.
Just got a report of a man being.
By the way,
bridge.
I believe
Need
the
the Harvard
previous
unit down here
episode
quick.
was a 1999 episode,
Gotta call homicide.
not even a 2011 episode. So, what we saw then of Allison isn't even her current age. If she was 18 when we saw her in 1991 and it's 2011, you're talking, well, 1999 would be 12 years, so you're talking 30-year-old Allison.
Hey, Fontana.
That job just pulled him out, Detective. I had him hold off. Thought you might like the first look.
Now let's have a look.
This looks like it's gonna start us quickly in a search for clues mode. As a final test of your skills as a detective, this episode requires you to remember facts and characters from all the past episodes. Good luck. Thanks a lot, game. Thanks a lot. You suck. Face, keyhole, key, note, wallet. Well.
Yuck. What is this stuff?
And it's from the East River, so probably don't want to know.
Do we know this face?
What the hell? Is this a mannequin?
Looks like it. Maybe somebody's idea of street theater.
Yeah, well, maybe somebody is going to pay for dragging me out here on a Sunday. Let's see what else we got.
What's interesting is that the back of the head of that police officer looked like it had a few dark spots on his hair. As if they were trying to animate something.
Man, this is just disgusting.
Some kind of sore on his head or such. Somebody taped a note. And so I have to circle it 3 times.
What's this? A note? Consider this a dress rehearsal. The next time will be real. Giles Bedford is a murderer. If he is not brought to justice, we will bring it to him. 6 Semper Tyrannis. Signed, the 99.
Isn't Giles Bedford the guy who ran the... Well, no, it couldn't have been anybody we put on trial, because we've put everybody on trial in jail. What's this?
Duct tape across the hand. Strange. What's underneath?
A key.
Small key. Maybe for a locker or a briefcase.
This almost seems like this very possibly could have been the first one of these they ever made, and in that way it would have been just a default mannequin with less polygons than, or just no actual face, and then they planned on eventually changing this to something else, and then they didn't use it. Let's see if the key unlocks
Handcuffed to
this.
his wrist and locked. I thought this kind of thing only happened in spy movies. Key fits.
And so we have a bunch of, I assume,
Bunch of
Monopoly
fake
money.
bills. Yeah, this guy's a real prankster. Giles Bedford? That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
You know this guy?
Yeah, Giles Bedford, CEO of Bedford Capital, father of Harrison Bedford, the kid who got killed in the preppy jogger case.
How
Okay,
did his wallet get here?
so Giles Bedford, we
Does any
know
of this
who he
mean
is.
anything to you?
Yeah,
Now?
a lot, actually. I met this guy Bedford during the investigation of his son's murder back in 1998. Looks like someone thinks he
98,
might have
it was
done
99
And it looks like they want him dead.
that the case
Fontana,
happened.
I need to find the person who wrote this note. What happened to the guy who
They don't even
reported the
keep their
crime
own
to you?
details
Damn,
straight.
sorry, Detective. He just ran back in the crowd before I knew what the hell happened. I'll start a canvass of the bridge right away.
The sooner the better.
What's funny is it seems like the uniformed officer is the same officer we've been seeing before. Maybe there's been 2 or 3 of them. Maybe there's one in 1999 and one in 2011. It would be an interesting twist if he turned out to be the preppy jogger killer.
I'm Detective Curtis. I'm looking for Giles Bedford. What happened?
Myocardial infarction. Heart attack. Mr. Bedford was admitted earlier. We did an emergency bypass, and he's stabilized now.
I need to talk to him about an incident.
Sorry, that's totally out of the question.
Look, there's been a threat against his life. I'd appreciate your cooperation.
No, I mean he's completely unconscious, sedated. But I'll try to tell you anything I can.
Interesting.
What precipitated his heart attack?
I'm not entirely sure. A good Samaritan admitted him, dropped Giles off at the emergency room around 9 a.m., but didn't identify
So
himself
maybe
to
he's
the
been
nursing
drugged.
staff. I was in surgery all morning till 11, and Giles wasn't lucid enough to describe him. He has been under a lot of stress recently, though. I've been treating him for it.
Interesting. Let's see.
Can you think of anyone who might have made threats against Mr. Bedford recently?
No, not offhand. Although he certainly was rattled by some run-ins he had with the Occupy Wall Street crowd.
Oh? What happened?
Anonymous email threats from the 99%. He said he felt vulnerable.
Interesting. Does that fit with the evidence? Yes, it does. So I imagine the trick here is we're going to investigate one case and then turn out and
He asked for a refill on an old prescription.
and find out that it's just an entire red herring, and then we'll see the real resolution of the story later. And my bet is it's Allison. That at the intro image we saw is Allison holding a gun to his head, because I bet she found out that he had his own son killed in the preppy jogger case. That would be my guess.
Anything suspicious about his condition when he was admitted?
No, other than the circumstances, he appeared normal.
No physical injuries, contusions, needle marks?
No, I checked him thoroughly myself.
So
And
he
all his
wasn't
personal
drugged.
effects were with him.
Yes, everything.
Is the doctor correct? No. Why would the doctor check him himself anyways? Like, doctors don't waste their time on that. That's what nurses do. His FTPs, his gloves, his watch, his wallet. Those FTPs.
His wallet was missing. Whoever took it was connected to this incident on the bridge somehow. You know any Latin?
Yes, a little, I suppose.
I suppose
Six
every
Sigma Terrans
doctor
mean anything to you?
would know
Thus
Latin.
always to tyrants. Supposedly what Marcus Brutus said immediately before he killed Julius Caesar. Oh, and don't forget John Wilkes Booth.
Where were you this morning, if you don't mind my asking?
I was in surgery, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. with Dr. Schomburg.
Did he contradict himself? No, he didn't. Why would we suspect the doctor? So far, I haven't had to remember
Thanks.
anything from the
I'll need his
previous
number, though,
episodes.
just to double check.
Really, Detective. I prefer to keep my patients alive. It's bad business to try and murder them.
What prescription did he ask for?
An anti-anxiety drug called Banaxolene.
Could it have caused the heart attack?
Banaxolene can have some nasty side effects, but heart failure isn't one of them. Plus, Giles was on a prolonged course before, so I doubt there's a connection. I only needed to monitor him every 180 days.
Before when?
Spring of '98, I think.
This date have any significance? Yes, that's when this kid was killed. This is some pretty
So,
softball
around the
questions.
time of his son's murder.
Shortly before, actually. Yes. Tragedy. And he was already under so much other stress.
What was the other stress?
You said Mr. Bedford was already under stress before the murder?
Well, at that time, he discovered his son's high school girlfriend was pregnant. As any father can tell you, it was not happy news. He was furious. It was no real secret that Mr. Bedford didn't think Allison came from the, right background.
And Harrison still told him.
Oh, no, I did. The kids came to me for the test, and she being a minor, I thought it best to tell Mr. Bedford.
What happened after that?
Which
I assume
is
it all worked
illegal?
out. He's a very happy grandfather now.
Is there anything else you can tell me about Giles Bedford? Unusual calls, erratic behavior?
Don't answer your cell phone in front of a police interviewing you, by the way. That's a good way to get them to grab your
Understood.
phone and smash it.
Sorry, that was the new acting CEO of Bedford Industries. She requested I not speak to anyone without corporate representation. You better speak with her directly.
Thanks, I will.
Wow. So does Bedford own this entire hospital? Is that why they're doing such weird interactions there? Like, he just violated so many laws and admitted to violating other laws of doctor-patient confidentiality. Wow. Well, we've gone another 30 minutes, so that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.